What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Mike Robinson, and this is another episode of Let's Take a Walk. I hope everybody had a dope week. I had a pretty good week myself. As usual, it just kind of flew by, but we made it, so that's what counts. Tonight, we have another awesome guest. She's an artist extraordinaire. She's an entrepreneur. She's a mother. You name it, she can do it and has done it. Miss Mioshe Trayel. I hope I said
I was about
that
to say,
right.
Mike, you better not now.
um,
VA him. You can't jack that one.
yes, she is one of VA's finest. But for those of you who may not be familiar with her movement, I'm going to give her a chance to kind of reintroduce herself and give a little background on all that she has going on. So, Mioshe, this is your moment.
All right. Thank you so much, Mike. I really think we need to switch chairs because you know what? You something else yourself, all right? But yes, and thank you so much. My name is Mioshe Trayel, singer, songwriter, and a producer. From Hampton, Virginia. I currently reside here in Texas, Austin, Texas area. But yes, I am just doing what the Lord, I'm just going as the Lord leads. I've been doing music for a long time. I recently kind of just started as far as diving into the business music business side, and just took things to a more professional level in that regard. But it's still definitely ministry. It's still definitely it still definitely comes from the passion and the heart to draw people to God and things of that nature. So it's kind of the story is just being written as we speak, and I'm so grateful to be a part of this show, Mike. This is awesome what you're doing. Congratulations to you.
Oh, thank you very much. We trying to do something, a little something over here.
Yeah.
Let's start from the beginning. As you stated, you are one of VA's own. Um,
Mhm.
when did you start? What made you start singing? When did you begin? When did you get that itch to sing and do music?
Well, my mom started me out with that very young. I would say about the age of 4, I think she put a keyboard in my hand. And I had been, kind of just dabbing and playing at it since then, kind of just playing by ear. I think she tried to get me in lessons at one time. It didn't really work out. So I don't read music, and I'm telling on myself, but I definitely play by ear. I can hear any song and play it. I can create a song from scratch, and I write, and that's all part of that production side as well. That kind of got discovered a little later. I would say like early in my teens is when I discovered the music production side. But my mom had me very young singing in church, and I remember a time I was on the offering table at a church called Sweet Haven Holy Church of God in Smithfield, and
Sweet Haven, nice name. Okay, go ahead.
yes. I started out. I have a lot of memories from that church as far as just my upbringing and my building my confidence and stage presence and all that kind of stuff. I remember standing on the offering table, like I said, and just leading the choir, just being the lead singer and the whole choir behind me. And I was only about 4 or 5 years old, so it was kind of started in me very young. And as you just grow older, it just becomes bigger, and you learn more, you adapt more, you fix the flaws that you may have along the way, and God is still working on me, but we're still at it.
Awesome. Um, so does VA have a sound?
Have a what?
A sound? I mean, how much do you attribute your sound to being in Virginia? Uh, yeah. How does
Hmm. Does VA have a sound? I just know that VA has some talented individuals. I've ran across so many people, and I'm just like, if I could just start naming, it's just amazing to that I feel amazed to know these people, and I I'm just wondering why a lot of light, why they haven't gotten the light and the recognition that they need, but there's a lot of talent, hidden talent in Virginia. And as far as a sound, um I just think they some talented jokers. I don't know about a sound. I'm very grateful to come from VA. I'm very grateful to have been steered up from there, and a lot of the musical influences, that I had growing up. I'm very grateful for them.
Absolutely. So
Mhm.
what do you consider yourself? Do you consider yourself a Christian artist, or are you just an artist in general? How important are titles for you?
That is a good one. So I consider myself more of a inspirational artist. And I say that because I don't really like to be put in a box. I like to be free to create, however it comes through, however it ministers at the time. And, sometimes people are listening for something churchy or listening for certain lyrics that have to say Jesus in it. My
Mhm.
songs don't always, say Jesus, but it comes from Jesus.
Right.
It comes from the Holy Spirit. I'm definitely led by the Holy Spirit um when I'm in the creative process. I consult with the Holy Spirit before I get into that time, and so I think that God has called me in such a time now to kind of break those barriers and kind of just create a new awareness, and as you say, a movement. It is a movement of me, myself, and I right now, but it is definitely, when you're ministering, it's a movement. And I just pray that people are touched by the music and people are led to God at the end of the day. So, Christian, I'm a follower of Christ, but I am a independent, inspirational artist.
Okay. I heard that.
Yes,
So,
sir.
Over. I listened to Over, and I was very intrigued by it. Can you give me a little background on Over? What brought about Over? What is
Hmm.
over in your life?
So, over is definitely it stems from a personal battle that I was having, and just without going into too much of my personal life, it was also birthed in a time where we had the presidential debates going on. We had the Black Lives Matter protests happening, and this was the time when basically COVID outbreak. you know so it was a lot going on, not just physically but spiritually for people, relationships with, we couldn't see each other. It was just a lot of confusion around us and things like that. And that song, in the first verse, I'm saying, crazy things happen left and right. It's just, I don't know how to make sense of this, but in the hook or the chorus or whatever you like to call it, I'm saying, but oh, how I wonder how I made it over. So there's purpose in this, and in all things, I'm going to give thanks as the word instructs.
Mhm.
And so that's where, like I said, as I was writing this song, I was really kind of in a sad place, just kind of like a if you will, a woe is me moment,
Right. Mhm.
but because of the Holy Spirit and because of that guidance, I am not allowed to stay there long. You know what I'm saying? My music is very transparent at times, and I can talk about the struggles, and I can talk about what we go through,
Mhm.
but I have to give thanks to God. I gotta thank him for that storm. I gotta thank him for that battle. I gotta thank him for that situation.
Mhm.
And I think that's where the ministering part comes through. I've heard people say that the song has really like blessed them as far as, getting through their personal storms. And I'm like, well, praise God, you know,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, that's where the heart of it comes from. So yes, sir.
Wow. When I listen to it, I don't know how old the song is, but it just seems so today. Um,
Mm,
the vocals were rich. I
mm,
just from a sonic standpoint, I was really impressed. Not to say that it wasn't going to sound good, or I expected it to not to sound good, but it just
mhm,
it really has a like a penetrating sound.
mm.
Um,
Well, praise God.
so
Yeah.
was there an intent for it to be for the church, or um
You know, no, it wasn't. Like I said, I can definitely, make some churchy music,
Mhm.
but like I said, I don't like to put myself in that box because I don't know how the Lord wants to how the Lord wants to move. I just try to keep it to where this song here, I don't I don't know what category to put it in, but I've heard people say kind of like neo soulish and
Mhm.
soulful, and
Mhm.
I would agree to put it in those to place it in those categories, but I just say it's undefined. It's just the Lord's work. You can't always put a name to it.
Right, right,
So
right. So
yeah.
yeah, so like just when I get ready to interview someone, have somebody on the platform, I kind of like
Mhm.
immerse myself um in that person. Like if they have any like YouTube stuff, any stuff on Facebook, Instagram, whatever, you know what I'm saying? I try to get a sense of what the person is doing, is along with the bio and stuff too. But
Yeah.
I've noticed that you are a very prolific writer. Like it doesn't seem like it takes that long for you to create something, and then you even create visuals for it, like the videos and stuff. And that's something that you don't really see that much, and particularly with
Mhm.
independent artists. You don't really see the visible representation of the music. But I see that you do a lot of that. You seem like you have all of that, wrapped up in a ball. So where do you attribute that to? Like who or what do you attribute that to?
Yeah, I mean, that's really just that transparency I was talking about,
Mhm.
it comes from a place. It definitely comes from experience, certain experiences in life. Kind of just it's really just a place of transferring what's inside and bringing it out, And so when you do that, it just flows naturally.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. Um, being being an inspirational artist, um, you you swim in some kind of some interesting waters, for lack of better words, you know what I mean? Because you're not really saying, hey, I'm a Christian artist, quote unquote. I'm not a praise and worship leader, quote unquote. I'm an inspirational artist. So like really, in your eyes, is there a difference between the a Christian artist or a praise and worship leader or a Levite, whatever you want to call it, and being an inspirational artist? Is there a difference? And if there is, what is it? Oh, you froze. You don't give her a chance to unfreeze. We have been having a little technical difficulties, but we're going to get that together. Again, we got Miss Mioshe Trayel on. She is an inspirational artist, as she said. She is a producer. She's an entrepreneur. She's a mother of 6. She is an independent artist. She is, you name it. As I said in the interview, she's like a very, very quick to and creative. You know what I mean? She can get it out of her head onto paper, onto the screen. And it's just like, how do you do that? You know what I'm saying? For so many people, it seems like it takes a lot longer. I know for me, you know what I mean? And I consider myself a fairly creative person, but it takes me a minute to kind of get it all out. But for her, it just kind of seems to flow. And that's really dope. And I'm really like interested to kind of dive into, what's going on with that. But anyway, how was everybody else's week? Did you guys have anything interesting going on? If you did, just hit me up and we could talk about it until Mioshe comes back. People have been asking me about this brand I've been wearing lately. It stands for with God, all things are possible. That's what this acronym deals with. You know what I mean? And unless somebody comes and asks me what it's all about, I just kind of wear it. It's something that kind of ministers to me. I lost my mom recently and to COVID, and I have been really trying to dive into the things that creatively that I want to do and accomplish and share with you. And this kind of popped in my brain. Thank you, Holy Spirit, popped in my brain. And it's just something that ministers to me. It's not necessarily something that I'm trying to promote or sell or anything like that. It just really ministers to me. But like I said, with God, all things are possible. And this is something that I want to be a daily reminder, want it to be a daily reminder to me. And hopefully it's something that you guys are already familiar with too. With God, all things are possible. You know what I'm saying? Make that a chant in your everyday. Make that a part of your everyday. But yeah, like I said, my mom passed recently due to COVID, complications from COVID. And so I've just really been trying to dive in creatively to a lot of things that I've been working on, because I'm the type of person that think ideas pop in my head, or in my mind is clicking constantly, and I'm coming up with ideas, and sometimes I get ideas in the midst of ideas. Sometimes I know that some of you guys can probably relate to that. You know what I'm saying? You can hardly finish one thing because your mind is already moved on to the next thing. But with my mom and everything, I think in this short time, one of the things that I really learned is that life is fleeting and it's important. And I think that God places in us, one way or the other, on varying levels, a responsibility to impact our community, our circle, our sphere of influence, if you will. And it's important to complete those things, those visions, those the destinies and stuff that God has set forth for every one of us. You know what I mean? And so, with that being said, I've been very much more purposeful in completing the things that I know that God has been completing. Has been wanting me to complete. And like with music and like with fashion, and these are things that, I'm really into and I really like. And just being an example of a you can example, if you will. For those people who might think that certain things or certain aspirations are too big, or think that certain situations or certain desires are just too overwhelming to complete. I want to be the example, one of the examples to show people that you can. Even if I do, and I joke with my friends about this, but even if I do something that you think is whack and you say, man, that is whack, I can do better than that, and then you go do something better than that, if I can inspire even that, what I'm saying, that's dope to me. You know what I mean? And like I said, with the passing of my mom and everything, it really put me in a position to kind of reflect on what I've done in my life, and more so the impact that I've made on my family, on my friends, on my community. Like I said, my sphere of influence. Have I really made an imprint on the people and the spirits that God has given me a responsibility for? And as I sat there at my mom's homegoing, I just really made an agreement with myself and God that all the things that were undone or half done or whatever, I'm going to put my best foot forward to complete it. The resources that I'm blessed to receive, I'm going to allow God to show me where to allocate it and where to put it so that it's the most effective for me, so that I can get it out to you guys, you know what I'm saying? And ultimately be, like I said, an example or a trailblazer or whatever term you want to use, but more so to kind of help people be an example to people who aspire to do and be things, whatever that thing is. I'm going to share with y'all like a prophetic word that really is propelling me, and I look at it every couple of days. My friend Jackie, some of you guys know her as Galatia Rose or Phoenix or or Jackie Pate. I'm sure she won't mind. She wrote, "I speak to your peace. You're not behind season. You're right where God would have for your have you. You're right where God would have you for your sacrifice to your family, your church, your home, other people. If you're diligent in this season, God is," and that's all in caps, "going to reward you greatly. Remain steadfast and immovable. Keep your head forward. Keep your eyes forward. Though we can keep our head forward, our eyes still can wander. Keep your eyes," and she put eyes in all caps too, "forward, and stop seeking perfection." That right there was a gut punch. Stop seeking perfection. That was something that I really, really struggled with, especially in my music. I found myself looking side to side to see what this person was doing and that person was doing, comparing my sound to their sound, and ultimately like kind of shutting down because I felt like I did not compare or I didn't measure up. And it's just taken me to this point to realize and be comfortable with the fact that God has made me enough and to do what I need to do. So enough is enough. We got to realize that enough is enough. And so God has been showing me that enough for me, enough is enough. Whatever vision, whatever color, whatever thing that he placed in my heart to share with you and whoever, it is enough for whom he chooses to touch and reach, whom he's seeking. And so I have made it of my purpose to have a sort of tunnel vision when it comes to the things that he has laid forth for me to do. And so that's what I'm going to do, be more purposeful. I'm not going to allow people's opinions and people's impressions and people's criticisms anymore to deter me from what I know that God has sent for me to do. A lot of times people will talk about this and talk about that they won't say anything when you're not doing anything. But it's that moment that you decide to make that step forward. That's when the storms come. So just know that when you receive those criticisms and you're moving forward and you know that God is leading you in a certain direction, those criticisms are predestined just as much as the vision is. Those criticisms and those storms and those the adversary, those mountains that come, they're predestined just as much as the vision is predestined. But as I said earlier, enough is enough. Understand that with the vision, with the plan, with the blueprint that God has given you, there should come a measure of peace. There should come a measure of confidence. There should become a level of assurance that allows you to complete that thing, that movie, that book, that song, that class, that whatever. There should be a level of assurance, like I said, that will lead you to where you need to be, which is just a testament to just how dope God really is. You know what I'm saying? Not only am I going to give you a plan, I'm going to help you to have the confidence to carry that plan out. That just shows you just how infinite, that God is for us. And so I just want to encourage everyone, you know what I'm saying, in these moments, you know what I'm saying? Don't wait for something catastrophic to happen. Don't wait for something drastic to happen. Don't wait till, somebody close to you is taken from you or whatever. Use this time. Don't take the time for granted. Just move forward, because people are going to talk whether you do, and they're going to talk if you don't. So you might as well do. You know what I mean? And that's just really what it is. And that's really the meat of what I've been, I've come to learn. You know what I'm saying? Even if you roll your eyes, I'm still going to do it. Even if you criticize, I'm still going to do it. Even when you talk to your friends about me, I'm still going to do it. Even when you think in your mind that I can't make it, I'm still going to do it. And I'm not just going to do it. I'm going to do it successfully. I'm going to do it effectively. I'm going to do it prospering. I'm going to prosper in the midst of it as well. So this is what I encourage you to do. Don't take this time for granted. We are living in a time where one day, never before, we're living in a time where never before has just living day to day, just waking up in the morning. Never has that been such a big thing that it is right now. You know what I'm saying? There were, 2020, between the pandemic, between the social injustice, between the political stuff, and just tack that on to whatever issues you just regularly had anyway. You know what I'm saying? It's so many things, you know what I'm saying? And it just really challenges us to not take things for granted. You know what I'm saying? Never before have we been in a place where tomorrow was really, really not promised. I mean, we've said that in the past, but this really brings it to the forefront. You know what I'm saying? This really, this time that we're living in makes that word more relevant than I've ever seen in my lifetime. I'll just speak for myself. More relevant than I've seen in my lifetime. So with that being said, you know, again, I encourage you, you know what I'm saying? If you have a book, if you have a movie, if you have a script, if you have a poem, if you have music, if you have a TV show, if you have, you want to be a dentist, you want to be a lawyer, you want to be a garbage man, you want to be a cop. This is your time to walk in that movement, especially if God has placed it in your heart to do. And another thing is that a lot of times people aspire to do things, but they want it to be planned out all the way to the letter. And while that makes perfect sense, God doesn't necessarily always operate in that way. You know what I mean? Sometimes we have to move and allow God to adjust us. But what we'll do a lot of times, instead of moving, we'll just sit there and say, God's timing, when God says, when this, that, and the third, when God is sitting there saying, okay, I'm going to bless your movements, but you have to move. I will adjust your plan, but you got to move. You got to go left. You got to go right. You got to go straight. You got to do something. Sometimes people are blessed and things fall in their lap. And that's cool. That's great for them. But a lot of times we have to make a move. How many times have you gone somewhere and you didn't really want to go because you didn't feel like it, or because you felt like it was going to be boring, or you were just maybe doing somebody a favor or whatever. But when you got there, you got something that you weren't even prepared to receive. And then you go away from it like, man, God, I'm so glad I went to that place. I'm so glad I called that person. I'm so glad I did that favor, because in doing that favor, I obtained favor. You know what I'm saying? And that's, you know, again, just a testament to the awesomeness and to the infinite wisdom of God. Like in this moment, I wasn't prepared to be talking to y'all like I am, but God made it this way, and so he's giving me what I need to say to whoever, however. And again, with God, all things are possible. So and so that's what I'm telling you guys. You know, one thing, and another thing that he showed me during this time, even in my morning, he's like, stop telling people what you're gonna do. Stop sharing stop sharing everything that you're gonna do. Just do, and they'll see the finished product. They'll see what I've been working on in you. They'll see my glory, and once you complete what I have for you. So it's been super hard not to share. That's one thing I didn't realize. It was, you know, you're talking to your friends and it's kind of natural for you to be like, oh, well, I'm working on this and I'm working on that, or I'm doing this or I'm doing that. And you just really want to tell them, particularly the people that do some of the same things that you do. You know what I'm saying? You want to share, but then there's something in you that says, nope. When you get done, they'll see when you get done. And if they need to be involved, I'll show you if they need to be involved. So that's something that, you know, I've learned in the process. And Oh yeah, I kind of went off on a tangent. I didn't finish what the word that I got that really was a word for me. You know what I mean? Where was I? Keep your eyes forward. Stop seeking perfection. My anointing, seek for my glory to be on your music. Stop trying to do something different. That was another gut punch. Because when you have so many amazing artists around you, like Mioshe and others, you want to, without even knowing, you start getting into this competitive mode, and it stops being about him and it starts being more about you. And so you concentrate so much more on trying to be innovative, but you're not hearing what God is actually wanting to say. Well, I'm speaking for me. I got so intent on having the right beat, having the right track, having the right features, having the right sound that I wanted to have for myself. But I lost sight and I lost track of what it is that God was trying to say to me all along, or say through, not to me, but say to me and through me, I guess you could say. So I got more caught up in trying to be different than I did when I should have been more intent on what God was trying to speak through me. So that was timely. That really laid on my chest. And I say that to you guys too. You know what I mean? Stop trying to be different, because enough is enough. The level of talent, the level of vision, the level of foresight and insight that he's given you to complete what it is that you need to complete is enough. And be sure, in spite of what others may be doing, in spite of how big or how grand what they're doing seems compared to what you're doing, because the name of the game is impact. The name of the game is effectiveness. The name of the game is relevancy to all those who need to hear and do hear what you're trying to do and to be according to what God is saying to you. So, enough is enough. I just keep hearing that. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. What you have is powerful. What you have is timely. What you have is needed. What you have is desired. What you have has the ability through God to generate wealth. What you have, what God has given you has the power to heal, to restore, to strengthen and empower, to encourage, to love all those that to come into contact with it. My pastor, shout out to Pastor Ray Miller and Pastor Ray and Annette Miller, RCCVA. He was talking to us last night about authenticity. Authenticity. He was saying how many of us can do what we do very well. But if there's no authenticity, then it will always fall short of its intent, of his intended target. For instance, if I just depend on the fact that I'm a good singer, then that kind of like negates the ultimate goal that God is having me to do by I sing, when I do sing or when I do go forth. You know what I'm saying? If I'm just basically depending on talent, then I've already failed. God has given us righteous intent, so that when we go forth, we can be authentic, we can be real, we can be genuine, we can be effective. Um, and that in and of itself is an awesome thing. Mioshi's back. I didn't know that I was gonna end up doing this, but God has a plan, and so we're gonna bring her back on. And I thank you guys for listening. Let me see. Hey,
Hey, I'm sorry, y'all.
it's all good. It's all good. We was here, and we were just talking about being genuine and intentional, and moving forward in everything that we do. And I was saying how my mom passed recently. She passed in July 28th of this year. And it has really opened my eyes to being more intentional in the things that God has set forth for me to do. To really more so complete the things that he's set in motion in my life. Being a creative, and I'm sure that you notice, being a creative, you're so creative that sometimes you have ideas in the midst of ideas. And so over time, you just have a list of halfway done things, not started things that should have generated something great, but because we didn't spend enough time with it, we didn't, and so I was just talking to the people about being intentional and not taking time for granted.
Absolutely.
Because every day, every breath, every second is truly a gift. And I said never before in my lifetime has that been more relevant than it has been in these last 2.5 years. So that's what we were talking about. But moving along, Mioshe, being an inspirational artist, an independent inspirational artist at that. Looking back on all that you've accomplished up to this point, when you look back on it, do you feel like you were ready, or were there some things that you've dealt with that you just never in your wildest dreams imagined that you would encounter? Did you feel totally equipped going forward? I'm talking about when you finally decided to be an artist, a consistent artist.
Good question. So, no, I didn't feel that I have been, oh, hey Richard, how you doing? What's going on? Yes, I actually didn't. Starting out, I didn't feel confident at all. Especially because I told you I was rocking with some heavy hitters and stuff, and I was still kind of like in my learning phase, I guess. And so if you would ask them, I wasn't ready. And the Lord had another plan. He pulled me out of that and said, yes, you are ready, because I said you're ready.
Right.
And if you ain't ready, you better get ready, because here it is. And it was really an eye opener to see what God, those opportunities, they came flying through. And I had to either take them by the horn and, say, look, I'm going to do this, or, I'm not ready yet. And you never know when you're ready.
Right.
So, if you don't go ahead and walk into those visions and those gifts and those callings and everything that you said, about that list, then you might miss it. You might miss it.
What
Yeah.
have you learned about yourself that you didn't know about yourself prior to embarking on your journey? What was something that you realized about yourself that was kind of a surprise?
Um, I guess that I had everything I needed already.
Mm.
Um, Sometimes people get into like the technicalities of things, and um, church folk be the worst ones. I ain't gonna lie to you. But and it's nothing wrong with that, because there is a spirit of excellence that we are to um bring to anything and everything that we do. However, there is also a place of readiness that you can have without having everything,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
it's really just more like, opportunity. When God calls you in that opportunity, whatever you got, bring it to him, bring your best, and stand by it. You know what
Right,
I'm saying? You
right.
gotta stand by that thing, and people might, like I said, people were ridiculing me. I'm not gonna lie. They like,
Mhm.
oh, you call yourself a producer? I'm
Right.
like, well, I'm a producer in the making, but still a
Yeah.
producer, you know,
I'm
because I know what gifts God placed inside of me, and I gotta stand up on that confidence. I gotta be confident.
right. And it's so awesome that you said that. I don't know if you were listening to me before
I
I came,
missed it. I'm so
but
sorry. I missed
we were no, it's fine. We were talking about. I was talking to them about. God kept showing me enough is enough.
it.
Enough is enough, and it just fell right in line with what you were just saying. You know what I mean? I think that, and I was speaking personally, like um when I was in my creative process trying to complete, a music project, I began looking left and right and to see what my peers were doing. And I started being more consumed with trying to stand out, or trying to be different, or trying to create this innovative sound that nobody else was doing.
This is an emotional thing for me, Mike.
Hmm.
This is an emotional thing for me because I went through that. And I went through someone that I looked up to telling me, well, if you think it's good enough, release it. This song is about to be on some movies here. you
Hmm.
know, and so all glory to God for that, but it ain't I'm not gonna say it's not my best. When I did it, I worked with what I had.
Right.
I worked with what
Mhm.
I had. Um, I actually did have to use someone else's I actually had to use somebody else's studio,
Mhm.
and they couldn't hear my vision. They couldn't see where I was trying to go. We were in there. I'm like, no, can you, you know, I want to do this. He's telling me what to do with my song,
Right.
you know, and he's good people. He's good people. I ain't going, I'm not here to, bash anybody. But the thing is that we gotta be confident in what thus says the Lord to us.
Right. Right.
If you
Right.
putting out a Mary Had a Little Lamb tune, being honest with you,
Right.
if you singing it a cappella, it is a sound unto the Lord, and you release that sound and see what He says about it. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
You know, we
Absolutely.
we can't be held back by what people say anymore. We can't. We're not
Right.
allowed to do that.
Right. Right. And that's exactly what I was talking about, with the people before you came back on. It's like that was one of the things that I really, really struggled with. I share with them like a prophetic word. I don't know if you know Jackie Pate,
Mm,
Phoenix or Galatia. She had
mm,
sent me a prophetic word that was so on time, and it was definitely like on point with what I was dealing with. And it's like ultimately, like I said, it's that whole enough is enough thing where you have to be, like you said, confident in what God has given you to share. No, it doesn't sound like Ty Tribbett. No, it doesn't sound like Kirk Franklin. No, it doesn't sound like Mary or somebody like that. But yet it is yet still effective. It is still relevant. It is still groundbreaking. It is still, you know what I mean? It's still needed by whoever your whoever God blesses you with as your sphere of influence. And
Absolutely.
that sphere of influence is going to um make you have all the resource that you need. You
Mm,
don't
mm,
you
and
don't
neither do
necessarily need, So we're reaching for recognition from people who were not meant to reach. You know
Mm,
what I'm saying? At least not in this season.
I'm
We're
going to tell
supposed to
you
be.
something else too. I hate to cut you off, but this
No,
is
yeah.
good because see, everybody is not graced
Mhm.
to criticize you,
Right.
you know? And we might give them the utmost honor and respect and regard or what have you.
Mhm.
But that doesn't mean that they're graced to tell you where you're supposed to go or even critique you at all. You
Right.
know, and so the problem is sometimes we do look up to those people and stuff and we want their inputs.
Right.
We want their input and whatever they say we go with, you know, but
Right.
enough is enough is so powerful on different levels because enough is enough. You have enough to do what you need to do. You have enough to carry it out and enough is enough. It's time out for that. Enough is
Right.
enough. God is saying I'm not taking anymore, you know. I gave you this gift. I birthed this inside of you. What you going to do with it, you know?
Right.
What
Right.
you gonna do with it? And people have gifts of writing books, you know, playwright. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know so many talented people from our home, from Virginia, and I'm just like, man, my dream and my goal, if I have to, however the Lord leads me to, I wanna help. I definitely want to help. So that's part of what my dream is to shine some light on some of those places.
Right. And that's what this platform is really about. It's about illuminating the ones that don't necessarily have the household names, the
Mhm.
ones that are creating products and services and things that impact their community and impact culture as a whole, but they don't necessarily get the recognition or the appreciation or the flowers that they so richly deserve. And it's my hope that the people that come onto this platform are exposed to people who prior to they
Like them.
yeah that would they prior to would probably never have any contact with. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're in Texas, but it might be somebody in Georgia, or it might be somebody in California, or it might be somebody in Colorado that's watching this or that's going to watch this, and now they're familiar with Mioshe and they want to know about the movement. And so that's what this platform absolutely deals with as well. And so, like I said, I was sharing with the people this very conversation, talking about how sometimes, like you said, to your point, we allow people to tell us what direction we should be going in, or what we should be doing, or what should we be singing, or what should we be writing or saying, or they'll tell us not to do it at all. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? And so being able to understand and be comfortable with the fact that, assured in the fact that, like you said, enough is enough. What
Mhm.
God is, whatever singing gift, whatever writing gift, whatever architect gift, whatever uh, dental gift, whatever
All of that. It's enough for everybody.
what you have is enough, because he said so. Because
Absolutely.
if it had it not been, he wouldn't have gave it to you. If it
Mhm.
wasn't complete, you know what I'm saying? So, like, you
And
know,
then another thing, you know, is people like you know, I'm seeing the comments coming in online. Somebody said, you know, people want validation or
right,
seek validation. And the thing is sometimes seeking those validations lead you to sin.
right,
Like you end up in some situations. You're
right,
like, how
right,
did I get here? I
right,
was just trying to get somebody to hear my song.
right,
You know,
right.
and I'm laughing, but it's
No,
sad at the same
no,
time.
absolutely.
I've been there, you know, and you know, it becomes a whole nother out of God's will experience,
Mhm,
you know. So
absolutely. Another thing that I shared was that, sometimes, like, God was showing me in particular, don't stop telling people what you're going to do. Just go forth and what I'm leading you to do, and they'll see it they'll see the finished product.
Absolutely.
They'll see when it's done. They'll see when it's complete. You know what I'm saying? When it's at its fullness or whatever.
Absolutely.
Can you speak to that? Like,
Yes.
did you have were you at that point where you had to just kind of like keep it to yourself and just plug forward? Because it's like you talk, you talk to your friends, particularly the ones that, maybe in this case musically, and it's only natural that you'd be like, oh, well, I'm working on this project, or I'm working on this song, or blah 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 blah. And it's natural that you share that what God is saying. No, complete what you got to do, and then they'll see.
Yeah, they'll see it, and something came to me the other day, just speaking on just personal struggles that we have in life. We don't want people to see us in our humility. We hide that for some reason, but that's what the people need to see. And the encouraging word that I would say comes with that is, if they see you in that humility, they're going to see you in your victory too. So at the end of the day, just like Noah, he was trying to tell the people, look, I'm doing this for a reason. People humiliating them, and oh, you crazy, ain't nobody. We when you hear that voice, and when you have that gift and that passion, that's all you need. That's all you need. And Mike, that's what I was trying to tell you at the beginning of this thing. You are a talented brother as well. And I'm glad that even though we were referred to each other, we know each other already.
Right.
I can honestly say that I have worked with you personally, and I am grateful to know you. I'm grateful to see what you are doing for people, and God bless you. God bless you.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, and that's what it's all about. Like I'm really a fan first, or I've been a fan first. People like you and like Jackie, like I said, and some of the other ones, I'm really I'm genuinely a fan, you know what I mean? And I would love to see you guys on Stellar Awards and different platforms doing your thing. But even if that's not in the cards, I know that I know that enough is enough. Amen. So not only are you going to penetrate whatever you need to penetrate, by walking in that enough, you're going to also have provision. You're also going to be, you're not going to have no lack or no worries, because
you better be speaking over here. You're going to have me crying.
All these things are going to be added, you know what I mean? But
absolutely.
But yeah, let's get back. Let's get back.
Amen. I had a good time. Praise God.
But this is a question that I ask a lot of my artists, guests or whatever. Did you ever encounter a situation where you were in between two opinions, where you have a group of people, two groups of people, and they both love you? They're not haters, but they truly believe that they are helping you and encouraging you. Like one side will say, "Hey, Mioshe, I knew some people who were doing what you were doing, and they weren't really successful at it. They lost a lot of money, they lost a lot of time, they lost relationships, and it just really didn't turn out good for them. Maybe you need to maybe rethink this thing." Yeah. And but they're not hating. They think that they're really helping you. Yeah. But then on the other side, you got people who are saying, "Hey, Mioshe, you know how talented you are? You should be up there with so-and-so. You need to get on YouTube more. You need to do more Instagram. You need to do some TikToks. You need to do more interviews. You gotta be seen. You gotta get out there in front of this camera and let people know who you are, blah, blah, blah." So you're on one side, you got a group of people saying that you're doing too much. And then you got on this side, you got people who are saying you're not doing enough. So is that something that you've
that is something that I went through, but I wasn't able to see the perception or have the perception of the people telling me, okay, put it down. The people that were telling me to put it down, they were not friendly about it. They were
Mm,
like, you think you gonna, what you think? You ain't no, I have had close family, Mike, tell
mhm.
me, you ain't no Leandria Johnson, baby.
Wow.
go go
Wow.
ahead, get you a good old job with some good old insurance, health insurance, life insurance, and you good. You can sing in somebody's choir every now and then. I have had somebody tell me that. And like I said, it was the closest ones to me, you know.
Right.
And so I was hearing more of that. Then as I'm pushing it, it was the strangers that were like,
Mhm.
"Ooh, hey, I'm a fan. I like this. Do some more." And
Right.
so, yeah, and it was people that I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I did have some family members that were pushing. Like I said, my mom stirred me up in church, you know, was raising me in that and helping me with my stage presence and things like that. But it was the people that I didn't really know that well that were telling
Mhm.
me, I like what you're doing. It just touched me. It did something. Please keep going. And so yeah, I don't think I don't think that's good encouraging criticism,
Mhm.
because th- anybody telling someone to stop something in a create stop a person in a creative mode, no,
Mhm.
that's you're a hater.
Right.
You're a hater. I don't know how to say it any better. That's just what it is.
Yeah, it's very tough, and you brought up a good point. It's usually the closest ones to you. Even
Mhm.
in the Word, it talks about where Jesus couldn't even do miracles in his own town. He did some, but he couldn't. He didn't do it to his fullness because the people knew him. Sometimes that's the worst. That's the worst thing when people know you. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
really, because they still see you as little Mimi. You know
Well,
what I'm saying? Little Mike. You know what I'm saying? And so
right?
they can't get past. They can't get past that. You know what I'm saying? And so, even like I said, even in the Word, Jesus was like he couldn't even receive honor in his own town. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? And I realize that more and more. You know what I'm saying? You have, like you said, you have strangers who will go to bat for you. They'll vouch for you. They'll support you. They'll sow into your ministry or whatever it is that you're doing. You know what I'm saying? If you got a T-shirt or a song or a book, they're gonna sow into it. They're gonna push it. But meanwhile, I don't know, but
Yeah,
it is what it
you,
is.
you never know who is touched by it until you put it out there.
Right.
And that kind of goes back to what we were saying with the enough is enough thing. We get caught up in that whole all of that, hearing people
Mhm.
and listening to them, receiving them into our spirit. So we have to take accountability because
Mhm.
you put yourself in the position to receive that from them. They're
Mhm.
not God. And
Right.
if you have this creative ability, that ain't you either. you
Right.
know so
Right.
so do something with it and release it and put it out there because it's for someone else.
Right.
Definitely for someone else.
And I was saying too that like a lot of times people will say, I'm not going to do anything until God says it, or until they're expecting it to just materialize right before their eyes or fall into their lap. But sometimes you have to go out and allow God to adjust it. So
Mm,
you know what I'm saying? But you gotta choose a direction first. You gotta
good
you
at
gotta
that.
move. You gotta
Yeah, you
move
gotta
first.
move. You gotta
You know what
move.
I'm saying? Because sometimes like we'll sit here in this spiritual pious mode and be like, God is gonna show it to me in a dream, or God is gonna show it to me through this person or that person, or it's gonna
Or
show
wait
it to
for
me.
somebody to sign you or
Right. You know what I'm saying? And God is saying, man, I just want you to move. Show me the direction that you wish to go in and let me refine it. If it's not in the direction that I want you to go, I'll show you that. But you gotta get on the road and start walking. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely. Faith walk. That's what that
right. You gotta it just even in James it says faith without works is dead, man. Like
is.
you can have your faith and believe that God's gonna do something and he will, but you gotta do something.
You gotta do.
You gotta do
We're
something.
seeing, like you said, your my condolences to you, about your mother and
Thank you.
everything. And but you are using that as inspiration and courage and motivation, all of that to push. Whatever it takes is awesome, but you're also seeing that life is short, man.
Right.
People, people,
Absolutely.
people dropping left and right. And what I don't want to be is left with all this stuff in my hand and everybody else is, you know, empty-handed. They done turned in their test.
Right.
But I'm still sitting here like, oh well, oops, I didn't, with excuses. And
Mm-hmm.
we
Mm-hmm.
want that well done, and that's part of that. That's part of that
Absolutely.
well done.
Absolutely. So what does Miyoshi Trail have coming up? Like what is she working on? Is Over a part of a larger project, or is that just a single that's gonna just stand on its own?
Alone, yes, it is a single that is going to stand alone. I am currently working on an album. Um, this album has been written for the most part. It's just I'm in the studio. Basically, I'm trying to get it put all down, the production good and everything, and I cannot wait to share it. Because it's almost like old news to me.
Mhm.
When you already wrote it, that was a season ago.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
so it's like you got to stay relevant to the seasons, and
Right.
that's where God does His thing when He says, "All right, let's go," because time is going to keep going, and you got to be relevant, and if you don't, you're going to miss the time. You're going to miss the call, you're going to miss the season. And so basically that's what I'm working on. My prayer is that as I am going through something, um, but this season is coming to an end, and I am in a rebuilding spiritually for myself. I got to regroup, got to regroup, whatever. And
Yeah.
so I want to be able to come back strong. And so there is a little bit of a pause at this moment, but God is still doing things with over in the
Right.
process. So we just can't get caught up in those little things. Well, what if I don't what if it ain't good enough? What if timing is all in his hands, and I just say put that thing together, work at it as much as you can, and when it's time to release it. That's all I got. That's all I got for
Absolutely.
that one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, I just got a couple more questions. What have you found to be the most common misconception people have about you?
Hmm. That's a good one. Most common misconception. I think my biggest thing was battling with. That's a good question, Mike. Look, you should have let me down. But I would say just the whole artist side of it. It's kind of like you're going into high school, when you're around people you don't know, you're a
Mhm.
new artist on the scene. It's like all eyes on you, and people like, who this girl? Let me see what you about.
Right.
You
Right.
sing, you say you sing, and it's like you have to be, like I said, you have to be sure, but at the same time you have to be ready to learn. You got to be open to learning and receiving the right knowledge for your next step. But I say that to say that a lot of people are waiting for, I don't know what people are waiting for. I think they're they want you to do this magic like trick and you're supposed to prove yourself.
Right.
People want you to prove yourself to them, but I don't have to prove myself because I've already been proven.
Right.
My creator, he's already said what it is. So whether people want to accept it or not, that's on them, Mike. I got to walk in. I got to go in that door and say, I'm the new student on the block. Hello, my name is such and such. Where's my seat?
Right.
you know where's my seat? And that's the type of authority and confidence that God is requiring his people to have.
Absolutely. um, this is a question that I ask all my guests. And this is my last official question.
Okay.
Unless somebody that's watching may have, some questions. If you have some questions, post them in the comments and I will ask. But this is my last official question. It's a question I ask all my guests. So when I ask it, just take a moment, mull it over in your mind and give me the most honest and transparent answer that you can possibly give me.
Okay.
The question is, what would have to happen in your life, if it hasn't happened already, for you to consider your life a success? What does success look like for you personally?
I believe that success is not a well, okay, so good question. I think that success is just achieving, and it doesn't necessarily mean it's the finish line of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just as long as you are achieving, you're being successful. And so this whole thing about I've arrived or people have arrived, when um like my aunt or family would say, when you get to this point, then that's when you're, this or that.
Yeah.
But I am feeling very successful in the path that God has, in the place God has me in right now. It's humble beginnings, but you are successful in your humble beginnings.
Mm-hmm.
You're long, like you said, long as you're making that move, long as you're doing something with it, there should be a glee within your heart and your soul, and you should feel God smiling down on you. And then you start seeing those opportunities come before you, and you're thanking God for every single little bit of opportunity that comes. You're grateful for that. That's what success is for me. It's just a place of gratitude. It's just an
Mm-hmm.
ultimate place of gratitude, and there's no finish to that. It's life. As long as you're living and breathing, keep moving.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, wow. This was definitely different than what I expected, but God has his way. You know what I mean? And so this is the second interview in a row where I just got a lot more than what I bargained for. I sat down with Shamir White last week. Shout out to her. You might know her as Rocket.
Okay.
Yeah. Yo, she had me in here about to break down and
I was getting there, bro. You
but I really appreciate you coming on, and I really appreciate the nuggets you were able to share with us. And I look forward to having you on again, and I wish you much blessings on your upcoming project and over. Everybody, please go check out Over by Mioshe Trayel. It's on YouTube. It's
yes,
anywhere you can.
everywhere.
Go ahead. Where can we find that?
Yeah, you can find it anywhere. You were in the right direction. YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, all that good stuff. Anywhere you type it in, it should show up.
All right. If somebody wanted to get in touch with you, maybe to get some advice, or maybe to sow into your ministry or
Yes.
whatever, how can they get in touch with you?
Well, Facebook and social media is always great. But I have a website. You can go to www.mioshetrayel.com, and shoot me a message there. But like I said, usually social media is the best way to reach out and things, and we go from there.
Wow, awesome. Well, again, I thank you for coming on, and I really truly appreciate you. You don't know and you don't understand, what this interview has done for me going forward. There are moments where you feel like you're bogged down, or you feel like maybe it's not working, but it's moments like this that encourage me to keep moving forward and to understand that enough is enough.
Right, Mike. Look, I know you're trying to close this out, but where's your music out now? Where is it? You got
Well,
some good ones now.
that's a whole nother thing. Like I said, I've been trying not to divulge a lot of things that I'm trying to complete right now, but
I just want
uh,
to make sure that you didn't put it down. That's
yeah,
all. That's all.
I will say that just keep looking out. Like I said, I'm just inspired by people like yourself, and Shamir and Jackie, and Wendy Arrington, Rob Arrington. Shout out to them.
Yeah,
Um, my church, RCC Virginia,
yeah.
Pastor Lee and Danette Miller,
Whew.
Pastor Charlie and Vicky Ammons.
Mm,
Um,
hey y'all, just calling out my family now. I miss
yeah,
everybody. I got to
yeah,
make a trip back home.
absolutely. So yeah, it's just keep looking out.
Will do now.
But,
Please,
but
please
yeah,
don't forget to share with me. If I miss it, please share with me so I can
absolutely,
have that.
absolutely. Again, I thank you for coming on, and I wish you much blessings on everything, your family, and everything that you have going on. And I look forward to having you on again in the near future, and hopefully, the project will be near complete or out by the time we speak again. I look forward.
Sounds good. It's going to be called, I've already shared it, but it's going to be called A Fixed Heart.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
A Fixed
Absolutely. A fixed
Heart.
heart, y'all. A fixed heart. And please, again, go check out Over. Anywhere you can purchase music. Go on YouTube and check it out. It's a really, really, not only is it just dope sonically, it's really saying something, and it really speaks to people people who may feel like they want to give up, and they really, like, I listened to the song, and it just really, it's not really flowery in the sense of overcoming. It's actually showing a recognition that I'm dealing with this thing, and I don't know how quite to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know,
Whew.
if I'm coming or going in certain ways. I could easily
Mhm.
say that God can fix it, and He can, but right now I'm telling you, look, this is hard. You know what I mean? So, anybody who may
I'm
be in
so
that space.
honored to hear you say that, because we want to know how people feel the music. You're an artist,
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
and I'm really grateful, and it makes me smile that you felt that from it. But the part that we need to feel from it is keep going.
Right, right.
Give up. Keep going.
Jana said that is her favorite song, and every
Thank
time
you,
I talk to
Jenna. Love you.
every time I talk to her and your name comes up, she's gonna
Oh,
mention Over about 10 times before the
she is a
conversation is
jewel. She
over.
is a jewel.
Yeah, that's my buddy. She's kind of like she's been kind of like a mentor to me recently, and I just really thank God. And this is one of the things that this platform has provided. It's provided me a way to kind of like connect with people who have what I need. You know what I mean? And hopefully I can inspire them the way they inspired me. And so
Her
that's
and I were just talking about that actually. Her and I was just saying that a couple of days ago. We have what each other needs.
right.
You can't do it by yourself, and we got to stay connected. That's the whole power behind the assembly, the joining of ourselves. That was the purpose in that thing there. And so unfortunately, like, we can go into a whole nother segment with this one. I ain't gonna do it to you. But we get caught up in the comparing and the competition and
Mhm.
all that. That's not what God called us to do this for. And so, like you said, we need each other. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
I'm here for you, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, and I thank you. I thank you again for coming on, man. You have a great weekend. And like I said, I wish you much blessings and everything you have coming on going forward.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. God bless you and all you do as well. Okay. Much
God
love.
bless you. Thank you.
Okay.
Wow. That was Mioshe Trayel. Please go check out her song Over and check out her website, mioshetrayel.com. Listen, what can I say? Some interviews just kind of do themselves, and that was one of them. And so I thank you for those of you who's hung in there with us. Shout out to Richard Press. Shout out to Clyde Robinson. Shout out to Jenna Parsons and so many others that chose to stay on and listen to this guy talk and all of that. Again, I shout out to Mioshe. She's a super talented, super gifted, and anointed artist. Please check her out. I'll see y'all, next week. Let me see who I got on next week. I don't usually say who I got on next week, but let me check. Let me check. Oh, I have Miss Tia Rochelle on. Another awesome artist. So you don't want to miss that. She has a new single, and we're going to talk about that and everything that she has going on. Another amazing, amazing, amazing artist. And I look forward to sitting down with her. I hope you guys see fit to come on and sit down with us. If y'all have any questions or whatever, please feel free to hit me up. Look at the ticker on the bottom there. Let's Take a Walk 2020 if you want to rewatch this, or go to YouTube and check this out. Check this interview out. It's on YouTube right now. Please like, share, and subscribe. We're trying to get those subscribers up. So please go to YouTube and check this out. Like it says in the ticker down there, it says, Let's Take a Walk featuring Mioshe Trayel. And, like I said, you can watch it, over and over and over again if you want. Like I said, please like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend, that whole thing. And I hope that something that was expressed and said on this interview tonight helped somebody, inspired somebody, encouraged, edified, fed, whatever. I hope it just overall just made an impact on somebody's life. Because that's what we're here for. Again, I thank y'all for coming out. I hope y'all have a dope and awesome weekend. And I will see you guys on the next go round. Talk to y'all later.